Glowstone Dreams. Alara lived for the gleam, not the harsh glint of diamonds, nor the dull shimmer of gold, but the soft, ethereal pulse of glowstone. To her, it was the essence of illumination, a captured piece of the nether's vibrant energy, and a constant beacon against the ever-present shadows of the overworld. She was a miner by trade, an adventurer by calling, and a dreamer by nature, constantly seeking to banish the deepest gloom from the world, one block of luminous rock at a time. Her pickaxe, though hardened with diamond, felt less like a tool of destruction, and more like a conduit for discovery. She had delved into countless cave systems, her torches leaving trails of temporary light in their wake. But always the vast, inky blackness beckoned, promising new secrets. For weeks, whispers had reached her in the sparse settlements she visited. Tales of a chasm, deeper than any known ravine, a place where light itself seemed to recoil, yet rumored to contain veins of glowstone so immense they could rival the very stars. This was her calling, her ultimate quest. Preparations were meticulous. She crafted dozens of extra torches, her inventory overflowing with oak planks and coal. Her iron pickaxe was reinforced with diamond, its edge honed to perfection. A sturdy shield, a sharp sword, and a quiver full of arrows completed her essential gear, for the deep dark was never truly empty. She consulted old leather-bound maps, tracing the jagged contours of mountains and the dense thickets of unexplored forests, until a faint, almost forgotten marking pointed towards a remote, mist-shrouded peak. Days of arduous travel followed. The forest grew denser, the trees taller and more ancient, their canopy blocking the sun, casting the land in perpetual twilight. The air grew heavy, damp, carrying the scent of rich earth and decaying leaves. Finally, at the base of the peak, nestled between two craggy outcrops, she found it, a gaping maw, framed by ancient gnarled roots that looked like the skeletal fingers of a colossal beast. No sunlight touched its depths. A strange, subtle hum, almost imperceptible, vibrated faintly from within. This was the entrance. Alara took a deep breath, the cold, still air filling her lungs. Her hand tightened around the hilt of her pickaxe, not in fear, but in anticipation. She pushed aside the thorny vines that clung to the entrance like a shroud, and stepped into the absolute void. The oppressive darkness swallowed her instantly. Her first torch, placed carefully on the rough, uneven ground, spluttered to life, its meager flame fighting a losing battle against the pervasive gloom. She placed another, and another, her path illuminated by a flickering, growing chain of light. The passage sloped sharply downwards, the air growing colder, heavier, devoid of the familiar sounds of the surface world. The rhythmic tink-tink-tink of her pickaxe against stone echoed unnervingly in the confined space as she carved steps into steep descents, creating a winding path into the earth's core. Hours bled into one another, marked only by the dwindling supply of wood and coal, replenished occasionally by mining more of the cave's rough stone. Shadows writhed at the edges of her torchlight. A low groan rumbled from a shallow pit, and the shuffling gait of a zombie drew her sword. A swift, practiced blow silenced the undead, its arms still outstretched in spectral hunger. Further on, the telltale hiss, sharp and sudden, of a creeper forced her to react instantly. She backed away, drawing her bow, a swift arrow finding its mark, dispatching the green terror before it could explode. Skeletons clattered in the distance, their bone-on-bone sounds receding as she pressed deeper, always deeper, her determination unwavering. After what felt like an eternity of descent, the very nature of the cave began to change. The rough, familiar cobblestone and jagged diorite gave way to smooth, dark, deep slate, impossibly uniform, almost unnaturally crafted. Strange, faint carvings, barely visible even with her brightest torches, began to appear on the walls, intricate symbols, long forgotten, hinting at builders from an age far past. And then, a sound, a peculiar, almost melodic hum, subtle at first, then growing in resonance, began to vibrate through the earth beneath her feet. It wasn't menacing, but deeply resonant, like a forgotten song sung by the very bedrock. The tunnel, now a narrow, polished shaft of deep slate, opened abruptly into a cavern of impossible scale. Her torches, even in unison, barely scratched its vastness, their light swallowed by the sheer expanse. And then, the light. Not her torches, but 1,000 luminous veins woven through the cavern's ceiling and walls, pulsating with soft, golden energy. Glowstone. So much glowstone, more than she'd ever dreamed, illuminating the cavern with a breathtaking, dancing glow. It cast shimmering shadows, revealing strange crystalline structures rising from the floor like giant, glowing mushrooms, their surfaces catching and refracting the light. This was her dream made manifest, a universe of glowstone. In the very center of this breathtaking display, nestled amidst the largest cluster of the pulsating glowstone, stood an entity unlike any mob or creature she had ever encountered. It was a construct, humanoid in shape, but composed entirely of smooth, dark deep slate, its joints almost seamlessly integrated. Where its eyes would be, two large, perfectly spherical orbs of pure glowstone, shimmered with an intense internal light. It was dormant, or so it seemed, until Ilara took a cautious step closer, her diamond pickaxe raised instinctively. A low, resonant hum, far deeper than the ambient vibration of the cavern, emanated from the construct. The glowstone orbs in its head pulsed brighter, as if awakening. Ilara, her heart pounding with a mixture of awe and trepidation, approached the nearest vein of glowstone, the diamond tip of her pickaxe glinting in the vibrant light. As she prepared to strike, the deep slate guardian shifted, slowly, deliberately. It raised one massive arm. There was no attack, no aggression, but a gentle, firm push of an unseen force that prevented her from advancing further. It pulsed with a warning light, its hum deepening to a low, guttural thrum that resonated in her very bones. Ilara retreated, lowering her pickaxe, her mind racing. The guardian seemed tethered to the glowstone, an extension of its power. She observed it closely, noticing faint, almost imperceptible crimson fungi sprouting from fissures in the deep slate floor, and a faint yet distinct smell of sulfur hanging in the air. This wasn't just a deep cave. It felt like a convergence point, a place where the very fabric of dimensions might be thin, or even torn. The glowstone here was different, more vibrant, more alive than any she had mined from the nether. The guardian seemed to be a conduit, or perhaps a protector, of this raw, potent energy. She noticed a subtle pattern in the glowstone veins around the guardian. Some pulsed faster, some slower, creating an intricate living mosaic of light. Faint, almost unnoticeable lines, finely etched into the polished deep slate floor, connected specific glowstone crystals to a central pedestal upon which the guardian stood. It wasn't a random deposit. It was a circuit, a diagram of energy flow. The guardian's persistent hum seemed to be a low-frequency vibration, designed to keep the glowstone stable, to prevent the volatile nether energy from erupting. It wasn't hostile. It was trying to maintain equilibrium. The crimson fungi and the sulfur smell reinforced the idea that this glowstone was dangerously potent, perhaps even a gateway to uncontrolled nether energies, if disturbed improperly. Ilara's gaze followed the etched lines, her miner's intuition and explorer's curiosity working in tandem. There was a missing crystal in the pattern, a void where a small glowstone block should have been, directly in front of the guardian's chest. A blank space in the intricate circuit. This must be it. She carefully mined a single small glowstone block, from a non-essential vein nearby, the Guardian's luminous head orbs following her every move, its hum remaining steady, watchful. With utmost precision, she stepped forward, the unseen force no longer hindering her, and placed the block into the empty space in the circuit. As the final glowstone block clicked into place, a surge of brilliant energy flowed through the glowing circuit lines etched into the floor. The Guardian's internal glowstone eyes flared with an intense, pure light, and its hum resonated into a powerful, harmonious chord that filled the entire cavern. The pulsating glowstone veins throughout the chamber synchronized, creating a breathtaking display of light, a symphony of luminescence. The very ground beneath Alar's feet vibrated, a deep, resonant tremor, and a section of the polished deep slate wall directly behind the Guardian slowly slid open, revealing a small, hidden chamber. Inside, the chamber was not filled with more glowstone, nor forgotten treasures. Instead, upon a simple pedestal carved from the same dark deep slate, rested a single, perfectly spherical orb of condensed light. It was pure, distilled glowstone energy, radiating a soft, warm luminescence unlike anything she had ever seen. This was the heart of the glowstone dreams. It was a source, not just a resource. It was a single, portable beacon of enduring light, a symbol of the cavern's hidden power. The Guardian, its ancient purpose seemingly fulfilled or its protective role understood, settled back into a watchful stillness, its hum softening to a gentle, content thrum. Ilara carefully took the orb. It pulsed softly in her hand, warm and vibrant, a living piece of light. She'd come seeking glowstone, and found not just a trove, but a deeper understanding of its ancient power, a secret guarded not by aggression, but by design. She turned, leaving the Guardian and its glorious glowstone sanctuary intact, its luminous heart still beating within the deep earth. The arduous climb back to the surface, through the familiar winding passages, and past the lingering shadows felt lighter. The darkness, though still present, seemed less oppressive, less menacing. She carried not just a unique artifact, a beacon of pure light, but a profound respect for the hidden wonders of the world, knowing now that some treasures were not meant to be plundered, but discovered and understood. The glowstone dreams, it turned out, were less about accumulation and more about illumination in its truest, most profound form.